Listen up. Reddit. I'm currently existing in a state of pure, unadulterated rage, a simmering volcano of fury that threatens to erupt. My sister Sarah, 32F, the self-proclaimed queen of entitlement, just informed me that I need to pack my bags and vacate the apartment we share. Why, you ask? Because apparently I'm a moocher. Yes, you read that right. A moocher. Despite the fact that I've been paying my agreed-upon rent for a solid year, a year of my life I'll never get back. Let's rewind a bit. Last year, I hit rock bottom. Job loss, a breakup that felt like a rusty knife to the heart. The whole shebang. Sarah, in a rare moment of what I foolishly mistook for kindness, offered me her spare room. We agreed on a monthly rent amount, documented in text that I've saved like sacred scrolls, because I knew deep down something like this would happen. I always knew she had a selfish streak, but this was a new low. For the past 12 months, I've been the model tenant the kind landlords dream of. Rent paid on time, utilities split evenly, I even contributed to the grocery budget, trying to prove I wasn't some freeloader. I landed a decent job a few weeks ago, finally feeling like I was crawling out of the abyss, only to be shoved back in. Yesterday, I walk in the door, feeling a sliver of hope for the first time in months, and Sarah's waiting for me, arms crossed, face like thunder. She tells me, with the same tone she used to demand my toys as a kid, that she's tired of me freeloading and I need to find a new place to live, like I was some kind of unwanted stray cat. I, in my infinite naivety, pulled out my phone and showed her the bank statements, the texts, the works. She just scoffed, a dismissive wave of her perfectly manicured hand, and said, "Paying rent doesn't mean you're not a moocher. You're still living off me." Apparently, because I moved in when I was unemployed, and because she feels I'm not contributing enough to the household, I'm a burden. She said I should have been more grateful and pulled my weight more. The goalposts were shifting so fast I got whiplash and my blood boiled. I asked her, "What more do you want? I'm paying rent." "I'm not a child, Sarah. I'm paying my way." She just repeated that I was taking advantage of her kindness and that she needed her space back. She gave me a week to move out, like I'm some kind of cockroach she's finally decided to exterminate, a pest that's overstayed its welcome. I'm completely lost. I don't understand what I did wrong. I thought we were on good terms, or at least civil. Now I'm scrambling to find a new place to live, all while dealing with the emotional equivalent of being hit by a freight train, and the betrayal is a constant, throbbing ache. TLDR, sister, the human embodiment of entitlement, kicked me out, claiming I'm a moocher despite me paying rent. Update 1. Update time. Reddit. The past 2 days have been a descent into the rental market, equivalent of the seventh circle of hell, a Dante-esque journey through the depths of overpriced squalor. I've been scrolling through listings, and let me tell you, the market is a scam designed to drain your soul and your wallet, leaving you a hollow husk of your former self. I saw one place where the kitchen was a hot plate shoved under the stairs, and the bedroom was a closet with a mattress and mold creeping up the walls. I also spoke to a lawyer friend, a saint among men, who said that even without a formal lease, the texts and bank statements are solid evidence of a tenancy agreement. He suggested sending Sarah a formal notice, demanding 30 days to move out. He was like, "Don't let her get away with this, OP. She's playing you, and she's playing dirty." I'm hesitant to escalate things legally, but I also don't want to be taken advantage of. I sent Sarah a text saying I was consulting with a lawyer, and she hasn't responded. Radio silence. It's like she thinks she can just ignore me and this will all go away. The sheer level of ignorance is astounding. I keep replaying her words, trying to find some logic, some sense, but there's none. I've started packing my belongings. It's surreal to be packing up my life after being labeled a moocher. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's difficult. I'm feeling a mix of anger, sadness, and just pure exhaustion. The betrayal cuts deep, and I'm starting to wonder if I ever really knew my sister at all. Things escalated, like nuclear levels of escalation. Sarah finally responded to my text. She called me, yelling about how I was threatening her with lawyers and how I was ungrateful for her generosity. She was screaming so loud, I swear I could hear the veins popping in her forehead, and her voice was a high-pitched screech. I told her I wasn't threatening her, just stating my rights. I said I was willing to move out within 30 days, as my lawyer advised, but I wasn't going to be rushed or bullied. She hung up on me, slamming the phone down like a petulant child throwing a tantrum. Later that evening, she came home with our parents. They were both furious with me. Apparently, Sarah had painted me as the villain, claiming I was taking advantage of her and refusing to leave. They came in hot, like some kind of intervention, and they were all on her side. They always have been, Sarah being the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. They dismissed my accomplishments, like my new job, as lucky breaks, and always praised Sarah's mediocre achievements as brilliant, like she was some kind of prodigy. My parents essentially told me to stop causing trouble and just move out. They said I was making things difficult for Sarah and that I should be more considerate of her feelings. Like, seriously? Whose feelings are they considering? They were completely ignoring my side of the story. Maybe it was guilt from some past mistake, or maybe they just feared her tantrums, but they were always on her side. I was stunned. I showed them the texts, the bank statements, everything. They dismissed it, saying it's not about the money, it's about respect. Respect? They were showing me zero respect. They always dismissed my accomplishments, like my new job, as lucky breaks, and always praised Sarah's mediocre achievements as brilliant. I told them I felt disrespected and that I wasn't going to be treated like a child. They said I was being dramatic and that I needed to apologize to my sister. I told them I had nothing to apologize for. I was paying rent, for crying out loud. They just looked at me like I was the crazy one. They always coddled Sarah, the golden child, and I was the forgotten child. I am now estranged from my parents and my sister. This is a level of family drama I never thought I'd experience. This whole thing makes me want to scream into the void, and I feel like I am going insane. I've found a temporary place to crash with a friend, but I'm still looking for a permanent apartment. This whole situation is a nightmare, and I'm starting to think my sister is a professional gaslighter, and my parents are her willing accomplices. Update 2. I'm officially out of Sarah's apartment. It was a stressful week, but I managed to pack everything and move into my friend's spare room. My friend is a saint, honestly. I owe them big time. They made me dinner and have been listening to my rants, offering words of encouragement. I met with my lawyer friend again. He advised me to send Sarah a formal demand letter, outlining the rent payments, the agreed upon terms, and the request for a reasonable time frame to move out. He also suggested including a clause about recovering moving expenses and any potential damages caused by her actions. Basically, he said we're going to hit her where it hurts and make her pay for her actions. He said this would put her on notice and show her I'm serious about protecting my rights. He was like, we're not playing nice anymore, OP. She thinks she can walk all over you, but we are going to show her she can't. I sent the letter yesterday. No response yet. I'm trying to focus on finding a permanent apartment and rebuilding my life, but this situation is still weighing heavily on me. It's like a dark cloud hanging over me, a constant reminder of the betrayal. Sarah responded to the demand letter. She sent me a long, rambling email full of accusations and justifications. She claimed she never agreed to a long-term tenancy, that I was twisting her words, and that I was trying to extort her. She was basically trying to rewrite history, like I was some kind of villain in her twisted narrative, a character in her delusional play. She also claimed that I damaged her property and left the apartment in a mess. This is ridiculous. I left the place cleaner than when I moved in. I even took pictures, just in case. She's basically trying to throw every accusation she can think of, like a toddler throwing a tantrum, hoping something will stick. She ended the email by saying she was not going to be intimidated and that she would see me in court. Bring it on, Sarah. I'm ready. I have the receipts. And then she took it to social media. She started a full-blown smear campaign, posting about how I was a parasite and ungrateful. She tried to rally our mutual friends against me, painting herself as the victim, the wronged party. But here's the kicker. Everyone hated her. Apparently, she'd been pulling this kind of entitled crap for years, and they were all on my side. They called her out on her BS, and her posts backfired spectacularly. One friend posted screenshots of her demanding free stuff from local businesses, and another posted a video of her throwing a fit in a restaurant because her order was wrong. It was glorious, a digital bonfire of her vanity. My parents also called me again, this time even more upset. They said I was ruining the family and that I needed to drop this whole thing. They said Sarah was going through a lot and that I should be more understanding. Like, what about my feelings? They still treat her like the golden child no matter what she does. They even tried to guilt trip me, saying, "You're making your sister sick with worry, she's barely eating, she is in a hospital." I told them I was done with their manipulation. I said I wasn't going to be bullied or gaslighted anymore. I told them I loved them, but I needed to prioritize my own well-being. They hung up on me. It felt like a punch to the gut, but also a relief, like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm now officially no contact with my parents and sister. This is a level of family estrangement I never thought possible. My lawyer friend is helping me gather evidence and prepare for a potential legal battle. He's confident we have a strong case, and he's enjoying watching Sarah dig her own grave like a spectator at a demolition derby. I'm exhausted, but I'm also determined to see this through. This is about more than just money now. It's about respect and standing up for myself. I'm not going to let her walk all over me anymore. The legal process is still moving forward, albeit slowly. My lawyer has filed a formal complaint, and we're waiting for a court date. Sarah hasn't responded to the complaint yet, but my lawyer expects her to hire an attorney soon. This is going to get messy, like a mud wrestling match, but with legal documents and depositions. The emotional toll of this situation is significant. I'm struggling to focus at work, and I'm constantly anxious about the legal battle in the future. The estrangement from my family is also incredibly painful, like a constant dull ache, a phantom limb that still hurts. I miss them, but I know I can't go back to being treated like this. I'm having trouble sleeping, and I feel like I'm always on edge. The anxiety is a constant companion, like a shadow, a dark cloud that follows me everywhere. I've been focusing on self-care, spending time with friends, and trying to stay positive. I've also been on an apartment scavenger hunt, and let me tell you, it's a nightmare. I saw one place where the shower was literally in the kitchen and another where the view was a brick wall. One place had a family of raccoons living in the attic, and another had mold growing on the ceiling. I feel like I'm living in a bad sitcom, a comedy of errors. We have a court date set for next month. It's a small claims court, which is a bit less intimidating than a full-blown trial, but still stressful. I'm starting to get that pre-exam dread, except this exam is my life and the stakes are high. Sarah has filed a counterclaim alleging that I owe her back rent even though I have proof I paid and that I caused significant damage to the apartment. She's also claiming emotional distress. Like, seriously? She's claiming emotional distress? The audacity levels are off the charts. She is trying to turn the tables, but it is not working. She's basically claiming I'm the one who emotionally abused her, the victim of my tyranny. My lawyer says her claims are baseless and that we have a strong case. He's confident we'll win, but he also warned me that these things can be unpredictable. He said, "Expect the unexpected, OP. She's capable of anything. She is a snake." He also told me this is typical golden child behavior, trying to manipulate the situation, even in court, thinking she can charm her way out of trouble. I'm trying to stay focused on my job and my apartment search. I found a decent place, a one-bedroom, and put in an application. Fingers crossed. I'm trying to keep my head above water, but it's hard. I'm feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I'm starting to understand why Atlas shrugged. The court hearing was a spectacle. It was a stressful day, but it's finally behind me. I feel like I've run a marathon and then been hit by a bus, but in a good way, a cathartic kind of exhaustion. Sarah's lawyer tried to paint me as a manipulative freeloader, but my lawyer presented the evidence clearly and concisely. The judge reviewed the text messages, the bank statements, and the photos I took of the apartment before I moved out. He basically called Sarah out on her BS. The judge was not impressed with her tactics, and he looked at her with pure disdain, like she was a bug he wanted to squash. The judge ruled in my favor. He dismissed Sarah's counterclaim and ordered her to reimburse me for my moving expenses and a portion of my legal fees. He also acknowledged the emotional distress caused by Sarah's actions, though he stated those damages were difficult to quantify. He did, however, say that her arguments were frivolous and showed a clear attempt to defraud the plaintiff. He even mentioned how her social media actions was detrimental to her case, and he said that she caused damage to her own reputation and that she had nobody to blame but herself. Sarah looked furious. She stormed out of the courtroom without saying a word, her face red with rage, like she was about to explode. My lawyer told me that she has the option to appeal, but it's unlikely she'll win. He said, "She's burned her bridges, OP. She's going to have a hard time recovering from this. She has no friends left." I'm relieved, but also exhausted. This whole ordeal has been incredibly draining. I feel like I've aged 10 years, but I feel like I finally got some justice, a cold, hard justice that she deserved. I got the apartment. It's a small place, but it's mine. Finally, some good news, a beacon in the darkness. Update 3, I'm settled into my new apartment. It's amazing to have my own space again. It's small, but it's bright and clean, and it feels like a fresh start, a blank canvas. I've even bought a few plants to brighten the place up. I am making it my own sanctuary. I bought a soft rug, and the couch is perfect. I have made this place my home. I've been focusing on my job and trying to rebuild my life. The legal battle is finally over, and the emotional wounds are slowly healing. I've started going to therapy, which has been incredibly helpful in processing everything that happened. I'm learning to set boundaries and take care of my mental health. I am gaining self-confidence, and I'm starting to feel like myself again, but a stronger, better version. I haven't spoken to Sarah or my parents since the court hearing. Update 4. It's been 6 months since I moved out of Sarah's apartment. Life has been good, almost surreal. I'm thriving at my job, finally getting the recognition and respect I deserve, a stark contrast to the constant dismissal I experienced with Sarah and my parents. I've made some amazing new friends, a chosen family that's become more important to me than my blood relatives, and I'm genuinely happy, a deep-seated joy that I never thought I'd experience. I've even started a new hobby, rock climbing, which has been a great stress reliever, a way to channel my anger and frustration into something productive. I am finally finding myself, and I feel like I'm finally living my own life on my own terms. I've learned a lot from this experience. I've learned that family doesn't always mean unconditional support, and that sometimes you have to prioritize your own well-being, even if it means cutting ties, even if it's painful. I've learned that I'm stronger than I thought I was, and that I can overcome adversity, that I am not defined by my past. I've learned that I'm not a doormat, I am not a punching bag. I am strong, and I deserve respect. I've also learned the importance of documenting everything. Those text messages and bank statements were crucial in my legal battle, my weapons against her lies. I'm now a walking, talking filing cabinet, a meticulous record keeper, and I keep detailed notes of everything, a habit born from necessity. I'm still in therapy, and I'm still working on healing from the emotional trauma, the scars that may never fully fade. But I'm in a much better place than I was 6 months ago. I'm learning to forgive, but not forget to move forward without carrying the weight of the past. I'm sharing this update because I want to remind anyone going through a similar situation that you're not alone. You have rights, and you deserve to be treated with respect. Don't let anyone gaslight you or make you feel like you're crazy. You got this. Reddit. Update 5. It's been a year since Sarah kicked me out. A lot has happened. I've been promoted at work, my career finally taking off after what felt like an eternity of struggling, finally getting the recognition I deserve. I'm in a healthy relationship with someone who actually respects my boundaries and celebrates my successes, a stark contrast to the toxic dynamics of my past, someone who sees me for who I am. And I've even adopted a rescue dog, a goofy mutt named Max, who fills my life with unconditional love and prevents me from ever feeling truly alone. Life is good. I finally found my footing. I have built a life for myself, a life that's mine, and I'm proud of it. I haven't spoken to Sarah or my parents. The silence has been deafening, but also liberating. I've accepted that our relationship is irrevocably broken, shattered beyond repair. I've built a new life for myself, and I'm surrounded by people who love and support me, a chosen family that's proven to be more reliable than my own, friends who have become my lifeline. I am finally happy. a kind of deep-seated, genuine happiness that I never thought possible, a joy that radiates from within. I have found my tribe, my people, and they are everything my family was not. I've also used some of the money from the court settlement to start a small savings account, a tangible symbol of my financial independence and a middle finger to the Moocher label, a reminder that I am capable and self-sufficient. It feels good to be financially stable again, to know I'm in control of my own destiny, to not be beholden to anyone. I also took a vacation, a solo trip to the coast, where I spent days just breathing and letting go of the anger and resentment, finally finding some peace. Best money I ever spent. I invested in myself, in my future, and it was the best decision I ever made. Here's the twist, and it's a doozy. About a week ago, Sarah reached out. She was desperate. Apparently, the lawsuit hit her hard financially, harder than I ever intended, a consequence of her own actions. She's in deep trouble. Her email, when it finally came, was a pathetic plea, a far cry from the arrogant demands of a year ago. She's facing eviction, her car's been repossessed, and she's drowning in a sea of credit card debt, a self-inflicted disaster. She asked me for help, for money, a lifeline she so readily denied me, a cruel irony. Her downfall was almost poetic. She had tried to start a trendy boutique, a venture that failed spectacularly due to her poor management and entitled attitude. She had also lost her job after a viral video surfaced of her berating a retail employee, a testament to her true character. Her online reputation was in tatters, a digital wasteland of her own making. She had alienated everyone. She tried to use our parents as leverage, of course. A follow-up text from Mom filled with the usual guilt trips. Sarah's in the hospital, OP. She's so stressed, her blood pressure is through the roof. You're the only one who can help her. Family should stick together. I knew it was a lie, a desperate attempt to pull at my heartstrings, but my heartstrings had been severed long ago. They, who had so readily dismissed my pain, were now using their worry as a weapon, a final act of manipulation. I ignored her. I didn't reply to Sarah's email. I didn't acknowledge Mom's text. I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just indifference. A cold, detached indifference. It was almost unsettling how devoid of emotion I was. The well of empathy had run dry. It was malicious compliance in its purest form. I was following the path they had laid out for me, a path of complete disconnection, a chilling silence. This whole experience was a painful chapter in my life, but it also taught me valuable lessons. I'm stronger, wiser, and more resilient than I ever thought possible. I'm a survivor. I am not the same person I was a year ago. I am someone new, someone who knows their worth, someone who refuses to be treated like garbage, and someone who has finally found peace. I'm sharing this final update to close this chapter of my life. I'm moving forward, and I'm excited for what the future holds. Thank you to everyone who offered support and advice along the way. Your kindness meant the world to me. I'm finally free. I'm finally living. If you thought that was crazy, hit that like button and subscribe for more wild stories. And if you didn't quite enjoy it, feel free to hit the dislike. Your feedback means a lot. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think, or share your own experiences. And don't forget to check out my other videos for more insane tales. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.